it lets you lock these angles, and I also think it gives you this kind of contact.
คือเหมือนทารอนพยายามเล่นเป็นดูเอลตัวเดียวแล้วตอนนี้ปรับเป็นดูเอลตัวเดียวเพื่อให้มันหลากหลายแท็กมากกว่า
What are they going to do to take space, Vic?
I'm so excited.
Okay. All right, casters, we're gonna send this to you, and I'm gonna watch your brains just kind of explode.
ทารอนบุกก่อน
Well, thank you very much. But maybe have we considered the fact that GE,
แมปเลยเว้ย
they're so big brain that they realize if we go 12-0 in the first half, we don't actually need to attack much. Like that's a plan. I mean, the Des mentioned it. Talon's been 13-0 on this map before. Now, I also want to bring up the fact that Talon, this is the composition they played when Primmie debuted in VCT Pacific last year. This is a composition where they said, Primmie, come in and frag out on Clove, right? Just go out, and he comes in against Team Secret.
แมปเนี้ยเป็นแมปที่พิมมี่เล่นครั้งแรกตอนที่เข้ามาในลีกนะประมาณนั้นและเล่นครบอีกด้วยมาดิแต่ไม่มีแล้วนะครับเป็นก่อนคลาสสิกธรรมดานะครับใช่ครับไม่มีโกดให้แล้วนะปีนี้ไม่มีโกดให้นะครับ
And just taking B first and then trying to make them guess, is it B or C? Governor seeing if he can get a cheeky little hit as they peek around the barrier mesh, but Global Esports not taking any chances. They already have full rebel control, and then on C site, that shear wall is still there. And this is why this Vice is becoming so popular across all the regions, across all the different maps, because if you don't ever activate that, it's so much information. But if you do activate it, I mean, there's so many different trap plays as well.
So at least just being able to lure and draw all of that out. I mean, it's already 2 walls from the side of GE that are drawn out. Now the salvos as well, and it affords a lot more options for Talon as they do commit back in towards the C site. So no shear wall available, it's just the guns for KLES right now. Still able to track Governor down, Poppy into the back site, but Jit Boys able to fight back. Now into the site, and that's where the Barrier Mesh comes up from Ben to block off Waterfall. The spike will go down in favor of Talon.
Yeah, Crystal just gonna be stuck there on his own, but he will be able to survive as Talon not taking any chances. They're gonna back away from the barrier mesh. They don't want to take any unnecessary fights. Ban looking for the flank, but they realize it's not gonna be there. All 3 coming in from Waterfall is ready. We've got the salvo online once again.
ลูกหนึ่งแล้วตรงนี้ลูก
Boys inside of the smoke though, they don't expect that whatsoever. Darren able to trade back, but now 1-on-2. He's got the headhunter, but can he really connect all of them? Swings out, but it's gonna be the classic that undoes him. Talon picks up the pistol.
I mean, full faith in Ban there with the absolute bait and switch from Primmie. Just jumps around and then says, it wasn't me. And Ban's there to pick up the kill. It's a good pistol round. What I really want to give credit to Talon is you mentioned it. They drew out the walls. They drew out the salvo. They drew out the razor vine. All this stuff that is going to take so much time to get through, but also things like the salvo that's on a 40-second cooldown. And then they find that opening.
This is where you really start to think, you know, we saw a triple duelist before back in the day. Now we're seeing the triple sentinel. Is this overcooking? Maybe not yet, because Darren is here and ready to play. Instant shot into Ban, but has to back off.
คนตายคือคนที่ไม่มีปืนก็โอเคอยู่แต่
Takes
แบบ
a bit of a hit, but not really getting too much value outside of that. Yeah, you take away the deadlock. That's going to weaken the post plant just a bit, but not able to recover any weapons, not able to upgrade anything, not able to keep control of C-Mount either. So Talon, alone. Now, he does have the Phantom. That always worries me a bit when you leave the rifle alone. You never know when a nice headshot's going to take you out. But he'll just hold these off angles, see if they get curious to push out for extra space.
Being able to keep it around at least, but right now, Talon still with the guns, able to push out a little bit more effectively. They are doing their due diligence of clearing out a lot of the potential angles at the very least.
Yeah, now there's so little information that they might just consider going into B to go for a pinch alongside Governor. It could have spelled trouble, but GE got antsy. They started moving, which gives a little bit of space, but can he get out? He's just outside of range. And Jit Boys gets a double Governor there for the cover as well. Everybody's being taken down by Jit Boys.
Well, he actually bypasses a lot of it with the Shrouded Step 2 and down in towards Darren, the last one left. He's the one who only got the kill against Ban. Gets a second, not too bad. But has to continue pushing up, and this is where you're starting to think, like, are the retakes really possible in GE's favor? They continue to peek out, but Primmie in with the Outlaw just really makes it not a possibility whatsoever. 2-0 to start.
Yeah, just a little bit of damage with that Headhunter. Now Darian 3 away from the tour de force as well. That's going to be very important. You mentioned how good are the retakes going to be when you're having this tough of a time. But outside of that, I mean, it's going to... Oh, he gets right behind him with it as well as Governor trades for him. That's a good little maneuver there. But outside of that, once you get that tour de force, once you get the operator, hopefully you're not really pigeonholing yourselves into these 5v5, 4v4 retakes.
You really do have to come up with some possible trap plays or at least the guided salvos to block a lot of it all early off towards Rumpel, but still the spams work out not too bad. Governor gets away with at least one. Now tries to hang back. Prowler comes in for support.
Yeah, we have to note that Primmie still hanging out by C as well. He's watching down with that Outlaw. Doesn't spot anybody pushing up. The one-way now gone. And he'll be able to start to re-clear some space. So Talon should still make some noise on A for the time being until the barrier drops, but they'll slowly pull away and try to inch towards C site.
Van here still not spotting out too much. He's trying to sell that fake by rotating the doors over. No footsteps
แบนบอกกูไม่ไฟท์กูเข้าจริง
The rest of his team slowly into the B side. That Prowler though does give a bit of a tell away, and Kelly S instantly calls for a bit of reaction. Crystal starting to think back into towards a possible B pinch, but Ban continuing to push up, gets away with another kill.
And there's the barrier mesh as well, so no one going to be able to funnel in through. But Yuto
ไม่อยากดูช็อตนี้เลยสวย
on that wide swing, not
ไม่มีดูเอลนี่หว่า
just not find
ที
him
ไม่
at
มีดูเอล
all. Governor with a free kill himself. There are the salvos, but they should be able to get out. Lots of damage taken, so Ban now takes it upon himself to make sure that they can secure this round.
Very likely bonus now, but
3 เซน
yes, hearing the hops.
มันกะกันร้อยนี่หว่าถ้ามันกันไม่อยู่ก็เท่ากับจบแล้วเนี่ย
Just kind of jiggling along even further.
Yeah, I mean, you pretty much
the
bonus round already, but if you're able to carry forward 4 rifles with the credits they already have, Talon is looking solid. And I mean, the Des talked about it, we mentioned it, but GE, this composition definitely seems like one that's going to need some rounds on the defensive side.
Some. Oh my god.
Yeah, I mean, the Vicelock duo has been so dominant, right? I think it's like on a 7-win streak on Bind alone, and it's been quite dominant and impressive across other maps as well. Very popular. And one of the reasons is, especially on the defensive side, that you can constantly bait out this information. If they trip the shear, now you put the barrier mesh on the other side, things like that. The reason it works on Bind is because there's no actual mid, so it's somewhat more one-dimensional in terms of the push and pull across the map.
But on Lotus?
Yeah, a lot of it is choke points, but on Lotus, I gotta see a bit more. Now, the Des mentioned it, Chamber, pretty good on this map. It's one of the ways to counter the old meta comp, so maybe that's the way you plug those gaps, but we're not seeing it just yet.
Not quite. Apart from the second round where Darren got a couple kills, but down into it again. I mean, we're looking at another potential Grafnet Salvo setup just to control A once more. Oh, Salvo's a little bit further in now.
Yeah, ready to just fight on Rubble itself as a 3-man and then push forward. They're not going to find it, so it's just a barrier mesh instantly for the rotate. Now, this can be fairly written. I mean, Primmie already sees it as well. This is something that Talon's been so good at. They're just waiting to see, all right, is the barrier mesh used? Where's the shear wall? They want to draw out all that delay util, and they're getting it generally before the 40-second mark, which is amazing for Talon.
Stuck and held. Stealth drone to gather more information as well, but here comes Yudotan! A second kill and a third from Crystal now! All sheriffs, but it's still able to ring out thanks to the information that they're getting. Primmie, though, in with the Outlaw, knowing that they don't quite have the shields. He goes in aggressively for a bit of a wallbang into Yudotan, but instant trade from Crystal rings back.
That is disastrous there. What a triple setup here from GE. So GE, if this is a call not just on the eco, but something they've picked up on from Talon, it's a great adjustment because they realize, okay, they're just constantly baiting out our delay util. They're constantly trying to make us use everything before the 40-second mark before they actually make their execute. So now we go out and fight. We go and fight. We have things like the Salvo. We still have things like the Gravnet. We're able to take control of at least one fight, 2 or 3 times around, depending on the cooldowns. Now they have upgraded rifles.
แวนทอมแม่งน่ากินมากอ่ะช็อตนี้โคตรน่ากินอ่ะ
Governor, I mean the creds are fine.
กูขอได้ไหมโก้กูขอแค่3ตัวเนี้ยโคตรน่ากินเลย
10 seconds
Might
left.
peek for it, but yeah, it's just quicker reactions on the other side. Just when you thought Talon might have been able to find a huge lead,
แต่นั่งกันโคตรน่า
breaking that
ยิง
bonus,
มากเลย
GE comes back and answers this way by fighting.
Just a huge double kill from Yudotan there. Keeps him at bay with the annihilation, and Primmie, a little bit of his solo queue antics coming out there. It was a good anti-flash, but not able to land before he's able to get that outlaw out and ready. And so now the operator in the hands of Darian. And then they'll have the tour de force as well. So he gets 2 chances to show us why they picked the chamber.
Does have a good sight line at the very least.
Ui.
Oh, and my governor! He just sprays into Yudotan!
It's a nice forward position. Obviously, we've seen that evolve over the course of 2024. Jitboy's already through. Poppy's ready for it. That smoke! Can't just go out of it like that, but Primmie instantly striking on the other side. Good adjustments on the macro rounds between the 2 teams. This time, Talon really brings up the speed. Oh, and Primmie's just digging deep into enemy territory. This is already a save.
Had the numbers to go for it, so nonetheless just makes it work. And with the op in hand, there's just not much else that can be done. 3-1.
That works.
Talon's gonna hold.
It's just going to be that save here from Darian. Just keeps his back covered with that trademark. And he'll just wait to see if he can get an extra kill. Now, on the side of Talon, I mean, for sure, you'd see if he can go out hunting.
มันออฟเด็ดเลย
Well, maybe not hunting with the knife out, but man, just seeing if he can close the gap there. Now they have that information, and Cruz is the one that you want to try to get this kill. Get that nightfall ready. Get that snowball rolling on the attacking side. But he can't leave the spike just yet. You just never know. So he's going to stick around. That's just going to be the hold, it looks like, all the way to the end. Once the timer gets close, Cruz will peek out, but he's not going to take extra chances. They're okay with how things look going into round 6.
So far. But right now, I mean, also just seeing some of the
ดูดิ
adjustments
ไม่มีใคร
in
มา
how
พลิกช่วย
Talon might want to deal with that early A rebel control.
Yeah, the Rays can still get ahead of the grab. That's something that maybe just not quite calculated. Maybe GE expecting Talon to respect that combo, because the salvos take some time too to really land behind, and they're trying to get kills with the salvo rather than trying to block them from getting behind rubble. So it hasn't quite worked out. Holding on to the util for now, Kelly S, he knows something's wrong. He knows that the From the Shadows is here. He has to find a way out. He'll escape just in time.
Yeah, backs off into its waterfall. From the Shadows as well, I mean, it's just extra annoyance for the side of GDE. But this is, you know, the full side granted over for Talon. They get to kind of hold even more space as well. I mean, look at how they're able to push further in towards spawn alongside that one-way. Stealth drone does alert to Jitboys at least that there could be a push coming out. But look at how his team comes back in just to stall it with paint shells. Armageddon sent through 2.
Yeah, Jitboys doesn't really have an exit there, but Primmie refills the area. The decay allows him to get a triple kill off of the Nightfall. Primmie holding strong in the back of sight. GE falling into pieces as Kelly is the last one alive. He goes back out for a fight, but Primmie, another 4K on Lotus for the Thai rookie.
It doesn't matter what agent he's on or what role he's playing, he's still able to frag out. Just reading the game and putting himself in the right situations to make it happen.
10-1-4 for Primmie. He's just been allowed to explore the map, go out for frags, and run free. Make sure that they're able to take flight all the way towards Masters Bangkok as they play their opening match in the second round of the upper bracket here in VCT Pacific Kickoff. Still has the not dead yet as well, so you know he can take some more risks. That's been sitting in his pocket for quite some time.
This could work out effectively, knowing that possible chamber or advise on the other side. So
no.
Straight into the smokes. Swap into the right clicks as well for Governor. Onto the classic. Baramesh instantly up, and once again, another C site quickly taken by Talon.
Yeah, I love the switch into the classic there just to make sure that you're using it as that shotgun. And you hear the knives coming out from Crystal trying to break that barrier. So you know there's forces in Waterfall. This post plant, it looks solid from Talon. They're just ready to fight on the site itself, not allowing GE to try to gain space. Only thing you're concerned about is that flank, but man, he has his eyes set.
Not much debate on it. You know they're working against the Sheriffs as well, so needing to stay tucked inside of cover. Ban, slightly short bit of information out. Actually takes the duel against Yudotan and wins it as well. Now on towards Waterfall, and that's already gone. So the only last one left has to be spun, and that's when the Boobot comes out from Governor. Does spot out the couple of Sheriffs at least, but that's when the spike's about to go off, so the rest of them being able to back off just in time. But Kelly S still taking down Governor, so not too bad. A little bit of something for GE.
Oh, the triple sentinel on the triple sights, but really not able to utilize that. So much disrespect for the util coming out from Talon, and it just seems like Talon perhaps has had a lot of experience playing against the Vicelock combos. I don't think we've seen a team yet in all these matches with Vicelock where they're able to just draw out and nullify all this util before the 40-second mark. It's honestly impressive.
Just being able to blast back in, especially covering in that way.
Timeout.
There's a timeout. I mean, you need it because right now the answer, it's just you're not able to find it. Flipping through the pages, and GE not able to sort it out on their own, so the coaches will be stepping in. I would love to see a little bit of adjustment on the util for that rubble fight as well. Right now, the only actual damage you're able to do is with the salvos. So if anything, I mean, maybe just going for actually denying complete rubble control, keep them stuck behind on the routes, on those steps, and then go for a triple peak, maybe go for some spam. We'll have to double check their economy, but obviously something like an Odin would help tremendously here, and they haven't really been able to buy up. They only had that one big investment at the operator, and that hasn't worked out.
Possibly the Odin, and they might have to go in for some light shields as well if they want to keep their utility up, but at the same time, I mean, maybe a bit of a double-edged sword. This is where, you know, Talon on the attacking side, they get to really kind of stifle some of these setups that G might have, and how Frost is being proactive on his own timeouts as well.
All right, so it's still going to be that operator for the chamber. It's going to be an aggressive push out mid, but GE or Talon, do they have the read on this? Prowler spots it. You hear a Phantom, but a little bit iffy. Because the only place you should really be going out is with that operator. So barrier mesh used to even bait it out, but they still sent the second Prowler. I mean, Talon had the read on this for sure.
Yeah, has been
เขาวอร์ยังจะเช็คอยู่
chamber so
ไอ้ถือว่า
far,
ดี
so
นะ
of course trying to make another op work
เพราะ
once
แม่นเดี๋ยว
again, but
โดนแดกมาชิบหาย
already been drawn
สอง
out.
คนเลย
However, it is the Vice this time with a sheer wall to
เดี๋ยวนะทำไมมันเซตขนาดนี้ได้เลยวะ
do anything
เหี้ย
with the setup.
Yeah, it's not really well positioned for him to try to
ทำไมมาเซต
get
ใกล้จังอะ
off of it immediately. They will now set up the smoke as they see that util come out. So that smoke should let you know that someone is watching out here to try to get the kills, and they hear it. So Shirwell already taken down before the 40-second mark as well. Now the only thing you really need to worry about is where is the deadlock, where are those sonic sensors? But Jitboys hears it. It's a setup on the C side.
That's more information being picked up by Talon. Kind of fully aware of what G's setups are right now. So being able to flood into the C side, Primmie from the back lines takes a shot towards Poppy, and that's I mean, this is just textbook. You save the paint shields for the sonic sensors, Shipboy calls it. It's thrown from long range right as it pops. You send Governor in, he's passed, he displaces the crosshairs, then you're ready for the trades. I mean, Vice, Deadlock, Chamber, none of them are getting value out of their utility right now. Yeah, despite every single roadblock being set up against them, Talon are able to bypass it. And now with the spike planted, everyone holding out from Mound, just a bit of a huge firefight. They have the ultimates to work against potential incoming retake as well, but thanks to the economy, G's gonna have to opt for a save.
1.5 smoke ว่ะ
I mean, Talon right now, yeah, they have a deadlock, but again, they don't have a hard sentinel, but with GE's comp and the way they've been wanting to play around their own defensive util, they're not able to abuse that either, right? There's no fast push to try to crunch on them. So Talon, they've been free to literally sprint from site to site to site and chain util or chain destroying all the util, baiting out the chamber rendezvous, things like that. The Fade, you only need to worry about Prowler for the chamber. The Rays, only the paint shells for the sonic sensors. And then the sheer wall, whoever's there, you just jump peek it way before the 40-second mark and you're good to go.
That's been the whole game plan. I mean, everything's being bypassed. So we'll see if, you know, maybe G continuing to switch up their positions does give them a bit more variety, a bit more of an advantage, but so far has been Talon's game all throughout. Now back in towards C-Mount.
Primmie just accepting that, okay, you know what?
Move.
Yeah, unless you spam, I'm just going to stay here, not give that information. Try just to check for the chamber. And so because of that aggressive Razor Vine, they were suspecting that the chamber might be pushing out. Once again, that it might be a setup, but not finding that, trying to just fish out for that location.
And trying to get ahead of things as well and just continuing to press onto that rotating door, doesn't spot anything on the other side. And Kelly's spots a bit of a barrel and will spray down, but Jitboys pushes back in just to find that trade. Darren receives a bit of contact in towards the A side as well, so fires off a shot, but unfortunately that Prowler forces him to rendezvous even further back again.
But it's still a wraparound. Crystal, he's ready for the He's not quite aware of that off angle. Crystal, can he get two? That's the spike stranded. Two members of Talon separated from each other.
เหลือ2โต
Spike down.
2ตัวตึงอ่ะ2โตตัวเนี้ย
Expects one more, but there's the paranoia he needs to survive the stun, just trying to buy time, but it's too close range, and Primmie will close the gap.
In with the shorty. So that's the spike retrieve now. 20 seconds left. The Barrier Mesh comes up just in time. So it should be a really clear C hit. And the only one here to defend it off is Poppy.
But you have not dead yet. Primmie has to be the bait. Primmie has to go in, try to draw that fire. It's a high-low, and it's a drop down from Jitboys. Enough time for the spike to get planted. And what happened? What happened to the annihilation? Tiny still gets the kill, but the spike has been planted.
ต้องไปพิมพ์
Not dead yet used.
ต้องไปคิวต้องไป
Primmie, now he's on the timer. At least just buying a bit more time
Man,
off the spike for Jitboys to hold his position. Primmie now pushes up for the move in towards Waterfall, but doesn't spot quite
เห็น
anything.
ปะ
Jitboys has the shot to step in, maybe a smoke to come up, but
วงนี้เลย
for stairs, so it's a little bit tricky for him to play against. Working alongside Primmie smokes now, but hearing the footsteps, it's Darren in close range with a hit hunter that shuts him down.
หนีทัน
GE manages to find one round after a long while.
Yeah, it wasn't clean. It wasn't the way you wanted it, but right now you'll pick whatever scraps you can get. If you're GE, you just got to try to get to 5 no matter what it takes. Keeping that operator in hand is important. This was a big kill, trying to deny them tripping that sheer wall, finally getting use out of that smoke on top of the Vice utility. But really it comes down to Crystal digging deep, recognizing that Talon's just been pushing and pulling across the entire map.
Now watch that impact found, truly. Crystal being able to find those 2 kills and putting up that salvo to buy a little bit more time. So despite Talon getting the spike down, round not quite there. Darren now being able to buy out the op. A bit of a higher setup just to throw things off in terms of positions, but still being able to thwart it by Talon with their utility.
Yeah, it was a nice attempt. You wanted to pick out that raise before Governor was able to land and get space, but he's not going to land the shot perfectly. They got a little bit of chip damage while he landed, but that's going to be it. A good scan. But that really only acts to keep them tied up in A main. You've already given up that space, and now you have to reset if you want to react, again, with your sonic sensors, with your shear wall over on B and C.
And that's really what they've got with this composition right now, so holding a lot of this the passive ground outside of pillars. They don't quite have the utility to come back in and re-clear. The drone's already been used, so Crystal just staying stuck inside. Maybe work alongside some of Poppy's smokes. But then you're back in towards, again, that defensive utility with a sheer wall, sonic sensors.
I wonder if they just go for an all-in, flood over the wall. You do have the pain shells, you do have the annihilation as well. They're clearing close. There's the annihilation, and they actually catch the Vice! He's just gonna get drawn out. Poppy, can you break it? It's too many targets. They use that against him. Poppy outs himself from behind the pillar. Yudotan now on the site. The sheer wall comes up and lines him up for Yudo. He's good for 3, defending the site on his own. Working around the barrier mesh, finds the 4th. He's not able to land the shot, but so much time bought for Global Esports.
Spike planted.
อย่าแบนดี
Wants this fight
ๆแบ
so
น
bad and he gets it 2v1. Both coming from opposite angles around the site. Governor skirts around the salvo. There's only so many positions he can be, and he gets spotted. It's a clean shot with the headhunter.
Such a huge round thanks to Yudotan's efforts, but down to the end as well, just being able to come in with that pinch, and even with the salvo to flush him out of position. Tiny sliver, and Darren connects the shot.
Oh, what a hold from GE. It looks dicey. I mean, the annihilation was so good. Poppy just couldn't quite make up his mind. Do I go for this or not? It's stuck on the steps. Maybe it's a chance. But Yudotan, they buy just enough time for Yudotan to arrive on the steps. I mean, the annihilation was so good. Poppy just died just yet. And Talon gets caught, lined up for the shots from
ตอนแรก
Yudotan.
ก็รีบมาแล้วเล่นตีกันต้องรอฆ่าป่าวะ
So off to the next round
Liu
now.
mới bảo,
We're
không
starting
được
to see
tịt vào
where maybe some of the scans can really push and pull Talon across the map for G to set things up. It's a bit of individual performances from players like Yudotan, but hopefully being able to keep that forward. Darren now onto the door with the off. Doesn't spot too much out. It's Governor with a showstopper to create a little
ไม่
bit more
คุ้ม
space
เล
for
ย
Talon.
ไม่
Just
ไม่
trying
เจ
to
อ
make
ข่าว
sure that they don't
ไม่
get
คุ้ม
caught in a trap play. Doesn't hold
Sure.
too much value. You're gonna hold close. Governor continues to push them away. This time constantly creating space towards A, so anytime that A to B rotate could happen. But look at G's position. They've changed things up. They're trying to group up a bit more to try to fight back. This is the new GE way, and Crystal will instantly get the re-clear.
Just continuing to hold down the baby door. Still though, Talon looks for an opportunity, some kind of an option into the A side. Udotan snipes down the first, Darian for the next. And as they continue to try to find a bit
เริ่มแย่
more, everything's being blocked up. Now Crystal still holding the same position.
ไฟแดงครับสถานการณ์ไฟแดงครับ
Trying to find these 1v1s, but they're not going to give it to them. 5 members left alive for Global Esports. Finally, some breathing room where they can just hold angles. GE waking up and remembering, hey, in 2025, didn't we tell ourselves we're just going to take the fights? We're just going to go for the re-clears.
30 seconds
Crystal, ready
Boom.
for it. Spots one. He's ready for the second. That's a 3K for Crystal as he brings the 4th round win for GE.
Talk about the spray down to the last round of the first half, and it still is GE finding the adjustments all throughout. You had that drone, you had the guns, and they're able to make all of it work.
Yeah, I think just adjustment. It might be a bit too late. We'll have to wait and see. But to say that, hey, one side we just kind of leave empty, right? We get the information. If they get in, they get in. Let's not worry about it too much. I mean, I can only imagine, being one of these team owners, team managers, watching your team play when you know it might be doable. Oh, they're trying to bring it back. Okay, the attacking operator this time from Ban. Because now they recognize there's that counter aggression, and he sees it, but Darion's good with the crouch peek. Shuts him down. Once again, some breathing room gained for GE.
Finding a bit of that duel. But no rendezvous available now, so he's just holding it, maybe looking for the baby door to escape. And that just could give Talon a bit more space to creep further up. No one's holding up from stairs either.
Sonic sensor broken on C. Draws out another smoke coming out from Poppy himself. But off of that, GE, the idea has now been the same as that previous round. Just ditch one of the sites. If they're on C, if they don't go for the fast hit, let's just ditch it. Maybe reset. Darion gets another pick. This should let you know that there was still a lot of presence towards that A site.
มันต้องให้โดยอนห้ามเล่นนะเหมือนตอนแรกๆที่ส่งของครับยับให้โดยอนวาร์ปกลับอ่ะ
And Crystal
มัน
continues
ควร
to
เป็นอย่าง
duel
นั้น
too. He's got all the utility and the Armageddon, so
เนี่ยตายแล้วเนี่ย
just kind of setting up for it. As soon as he hears a bit of a tell, and there it is.
Oh boy.
Armageddon sent out. It's all lined up for him. Still though, Governor tries to get underneath him and will be able to strike against Crystal. Gets the next shot.
Oh
No!
my
Pelias
gosh.
denies that opportunity. Primmie now going on the offensive in with the shorties despite his gun being taken away. Tries to pull it up just ahead of time to hold, but 15 seconds left is all that he's got. Takes down Udotan, but Poppy up to the other sidelines. GE will be able to strike back to end the first half with a 7-5 scoreline.
Honestly, given how things started, I didn't imagine we'd be able to get to a 5-7 scoreline. I would argue with the composition, sure, Talon still looking solid, but GE looks rejuvenated. They've rediscovered what their flavor was, what their characteristics were coming into this year. We praise them so much for that hyper-aggression the moment you get contact, the instant re-clears, the instant pushes in, and they were able to remember that just in time to stabilize and stem the bleeding in the first half.
Just so darn impressive with how they were able to find it that quick, despite the, a bit of a swing back and forth. But now this is where you really start to think, right? Though they might have found those adjustments, how does this composition work for the attack?
I mean, well, I hate to say it, but you still got to keep a lot of eyes on Darion. Right? As that chamber, you're the one who can take those aggressive angles. You're the ones who can take that aggressive fight, try to open things up. Yes, you have things like the salvo and the combo with the grab nets to try to fight off rubble, to try to get that early space. But at the end of the day, somebody needs to force Talon to use his util early to take these risky fights, and that's got to be the chamber.
That's a lot of pressure on the Singaporean shoulders.
See if he can live up to it. Started gaining his footing a little bit with that operator towards the end of that first half. But can he keep up the heat all the way to the end? What a momentous win it would be for Global Esports if they were able to make this upset happen against Talon.
Truly. Buys up on the Headhunter as well, so maybe looking for some of those opportunities now. It's definitely not going to be easy, though. I mean, thinking about a lot of these sight lines, and Talon, a bit of attention brought over to the B side.
Yeah, it's just a full B execute ready, but here's the C's play. The C's need right off the pistol round. Okay, I like it, Talon. We'll see if it pays off. Getting a hard read, saying, where else are you going to go? The Rebel fight's not good for them. We don't see them in C Mound. And now the Prowler just to check it. Will get cleared away by Crystal from far distance.
Holds and yeah, nothing there. G playing safe enough.
โอ้โห
Comes
ยี่
back
อย่าง
in
นี้
just to try to do what they
จะแตก
did
ตอน
on
ไหนครับ
split
เนี่ย
from
ยิง
before,
คนเดียว
right? A couple of taps in, maybe someone peeks
หมด
out,
นะ
maybe they find a shot through the Baron Mash that way, but Talon smokes it off to play safe.
All right, clearing out tree with the drone as well. No tags just yet. There's a sonic sensor. There's the grab net band. He wants to go in for the kill. He gets one. He's trying to play it safe, but he knows he's surrounded. He needs to try to get two. Oh, just barely not able to land the headshots.
Still, yeah, just a bit of damage done nonetheless. Trying to hold it. That will be the spike for GE now, trying to play out from stairs. That's Darian down. The back of tree. Surely with the Prowler and everything else being sent
เรียบร้อยครับ โดนล็อกสอง
There's no one on site.
It's a good flash to try to reposition here for GE. They're trying to hold on to tree. Poppy gets taken down, but now both of them in the smoke. They have to separate on the site. Primmie goes in. Brave spearheading the site. He catches the sight of the last member, and Crystal will get taken down. It's a full wraparound retake here from Talon as they pick up yet another pistol round here on Lotus.
Has the assist for the pick-me-up for the speed boost as well, so just goes in for the swings through the smoke nonetheless, and the whole team able to collect in through onto it. You know, gotta credit Poppy just trying to get ahead of that paranoia a little bit as well, but unfortunately it's just not quite enough to fend off so many players from Talon being able to read the whole situation in kind.
Yeah, and I think a big one was that boombot play from Governor, right? Swings out as soon as it gets the tag, and he's able to take out the chamber, which would have been a lot of danger for that retake. So opening things up for his team. Talon double outlaw.
Wow.
I don't mind it though.
You know they don't have mobility, right?
Yeah, they don't have mobility. They're not able to really force you off of those positions either, other than the magnetic salvos. So now you're just going to try to snowball this 2 rounds in a row.
Oh, and there it is.
Now that's one. There's the Pinchos as well. And the push down, and Talon says, no way you're not getting into any of these sites. Spike dropped. Only Darian and his headhunter.
Cruz with the crouch spray as
น่าได้
well.
ตัวหนึ่งว่ะ
What
ทรง
is
นี้
Darian gonna do? Now he's maybe thinking about Cruz pushing out from the back
โอเค
lines,
ถือว่า
but
มุมห่าง
that
กัน
is
เยอะ
gonna
ได้
be
อยู่
it. That is
ตอน
all
แรกนึกว่าจะได้
that
สัก
they
คน
can
หนึ่ง
write. Governor,
มือใกล้
everyone flooding through Mound that way. What else can you truly do?
17, 6, and 5 for Primmie.
ก็เลยงงว่าไม่มีดูเอลแล้วจะเข้ากันยังไงวะ
Gives us a
ของ
little bit
ส่
of
ง
a throwback
ส
to
โมก
his
ก็
debut
มีแค่
match.
ตัวเดียว
Able to just run
ไป
free.
เอาเซนติเนลมาสามเหมือนเอามาเน้นกันอะแต่กันแม่งได้แค่
As that
ห้า
glow really seems to suit him like a glove here.
ไม่คุ้มว่ะ
And Talon now trying to get ahead once again, 9 to 5, 4 rounds ahead, getting both pistols on this map just as they did on Split, the map they took in the very first map.
Good work out. Starting things off with a bit of a wallbang opportunity.
Hey, the Haunt recognizes that somebody's here. Governor takes a bit of a risk.
ทำไมทำกันอย่างเงี้ย
I think just because of that first whiff, he got the tag onto Jaren. He wanted
แล
to
ก
stick
ตัวหนึ่ง
to
เพื่อให้
it,
ได้
but
พื้นที่
not able to fully get it, but they are able to push him away from Rubble. And so now, GE, they have to work a lot harder to regain control of that. They have to use util combos to really reclaim side of A. And so look at the rotations. Talon now sending Jip Boys all the way back over to B and C.
And Global is just tapping on those doors, you know, trying to bring some of the attention back over onto the other
แต่
side
ขยี้
as
ตา
well.
เมื่อกี้ครูมันขยี้
Just
ตา
Cruz to hold outside of Rubble for now. Great angle though. Does tag Crystal down to low HP.
Yeah, he still wants to stick around, trying to work away from that stealth drone. Peeks right after it. He gets
ส
two
วย
of
ละ
the
สวยละ
ghost as
สวยละส
well.
วยละ
Huge value
น่าไปดี
found.
Just insane value
ไม่วะ
off of the outlaw into the ghost. Now Baron
เอา
Mesh
ปะปิไว้
trying to
ห้อย
block
ไว้
off any further rotation. The spike should get planted,
สวย
but Poppy, oh, we needed to
เดี๋ยวมันเอา
stay
บอล
alive for extra value. Now it's a 3v2 in favor of Talon.
Tried to catch him off in the rotations, but without the numbers, it just doesn't quite work out too well.
มีสโมกสอง
Just
ลู
not
ก
quite
มี
favoring
สโมก
him either,
สาม
so
ลูก
down
ส
to
วย
it.
พิมพ์ไม่
Primmie
ได้
with the angle
ไม่รู้
takes down
ไม่รู้ตำแหน่ง
Crystal. It's all up to Yudotan.
ระวังสแตร์
Might be able to at
Okay.
least get one, but still into the sights. Can this Phantom really do all the work that is necessary? Continues to hold out from stairs, but now he's smoked off. He goes back to heaven. That's a
กู้
little
ไงครับ
too
รออะไร
clear.
ล่ะ
So dodges
ก็
the
แกกู้
flash and tries to re-clear through the smoke, but does he know that Jitboy's on the other side? He anticipates it, but the spike is being stuck. Ben, he gets the round for
แค่กู้
Talon.
Oh, the plant positioning just inside the box, and he's not quite able to get the spray. He doesn't have enough bullets to do so. That hurts. Honestly, I like the way Yudotan thinks so. He takes the high-risk, high-reward play to just peek out of the smoke instead of dropping down all the way around heaven. That seems too obvious. I just have to win the 1v2. And he goes for it, but at the end of the day, it's not great positioning. And honestly, even if they won it, it would have been off of heroics, right? At the end, it's still Talon really able to keep the number advantage throughout the entire round.
So much all throughout for sure. So Outlaw still being kept, but there is that Odin now in play on the A site. G tries to go for the quick B hit instead,
สวย
but unfortunately Talon's all prepared for it. Jitboys and Primmie, they're able to hold down the exits.
Yeah, I get that this was an eco, but I imagine it's a timeout in the next round, just because now that you've heard the Odin as well, what are your answers? I think you don't have many chances.
Wait.
It's going to be 11-5 after this round, and you're going to have to make sure that you do not let Talon get to that match point. You have to regroup and consider, okay, what did we prep when there's an Odin coming out? What did we prep in the future when an operator comes out? You have to think ahead many rounds in a row now.
But when you're down against this many rounds, it's just tougher. And without the numbers now,
มัน
G
เลย
is
ได้
slowly
นะ
trying
นี่
to keep creep forward
ถอย
through.
ได้นะ
Darian
เนี่ย
maybe trying to sneak into the A site.
นั่นไง
Darian draws a little bit of fire, trying to create an opening on the B side, and it's going to work for the time being. Primmie showing his back, but G just not aware of that timing just yet. But with this much time pass, I think Talon starts to just hold, right? There's no reason to start to go all the way towards A. Ben finds it as well. Oh, he takes the fight, actually drops down to Darian.
แบ
That's
น
going to be what creates that opening.
สวย
Still down to the one-on-ones.
And B.
Primmie will be able to strike back. And there's that pickup now, tries to go a little bit more
Jitboy.
aggressive alongside Jitboys. The flash will be sent through. Primmie gets
โอ้
this
สอง
good
คน
for the
นี้แม่ง
head-to-head. And down to Jitboys
เยี่ยม
taking that duel
เลย
against Poppy as well. Flushed out of position thanks to the flash. Talon still being able to keep it through 11-5.
Primmie and Jitboys, the duo coming through strong, winning those 1v1s each on their own. And Primmie taking out Darian was so big there, because otherwise you have the numbers
Let's go,
disadvantage
man.
and the position's not great either. But now, GE, no duelists. How in the world do you break through things like the Odin?
I mean, you see some glimpses of what Darian can bring to the team, bring to the table, right? But still, in terms of the macro, it's just not quite there on these agents. Looking for the sight lines and everything, but the Odin's just
Come over,
being oppressive
TALON.
with that suppressive fire.
The Tejo not quite showing us the value just
มั่น
yet
ใจเหร
in
อ
this
วะปืนกด
combination.
นี่
And as a result, the Vice Lock, I mean, they've never really been in a position. Obviously on defense, it was getting ruined, but you know, the post plant's not quite coming through yet in the second half. And like you said, it has to come down to Darian. We mentioned that at the beginning of the map, but how do you set him up? Is Rubble really the best position to try to set him up early? I'm not so sure. Maybe fighting for that mound control and then going and re-clearing once you get another chance with things like the salvo. Maybe using the stealth drone to re-clear Rubble and then reposition Darian all the way back there. A little bit of push-pull, CHC rotates, a little bit more macro movement to try to throw Talon off, but Talon, the moment they find an opening, they've been tightening the gaps, right? We saw Cruz there holding right by Root with that Outlaw. I mean, we don't see the Fade holding that close every day, so we'll have to see if G's ready for that type of adaptation.
Talon, though, off the timeouts as well, also getting proactive on it.
You want to play? Let's play.
And it's just going to be the full Rubble commitment and then Poppy on the lurk. But here comes the pinch, and there's the Han. Oh, Poppy wins one.
But
he knows he's in trouble. He needs to get multiple. There's the shear to keep him alive. Oh, that buys him so much time and space. Cruz.
เฮ้ยทำอะไรกันหนองเฮ้ยทำอะไรกันทำอะไรกัน
And
นี่
GE
เฮ้ย
trying
เกิดอะไร
to
ขึ้น
turn things
ฟอส
around
ก
here
ดมา
round
ทีเดียว
17.
พังเลย
Being able to shoot them down, Poppy. Sheer wall as well. Now continuing to hold the back lines, knowing that that's where they are coming from. And at the same time, you do have Darian on that tour de force marking down the baby door as well. So
ทำอะไรนี่
last one left, Ban.
What the fuck
Pretty much gonna have to save
ส
at
วัสดี
this
ครับ
point.
Yeah, just going to hang back. All 5 members left alive. And now you have those ultimates online as well for Global Esports. One more chance to try to continue things. And we'll peek out. Okay, he wants to destroy the economy as much as he can. Doesn't matter if they finish off one extra ultimate. They've got the wombo combos. And it's only going to be good for one. GE now climbing up to 6. Still 5 more rounds to go if they want to tie things up.
Okay, but I will also bring my own.
It all starts off with a bit of a morale boost right now. Being able to flood in through the A site, hearing those footsteps towards the back, and Poppy just having that huge potential to anchor and hold down his ground.
Yeah, and this is another part of the Vice Lock shining through, right? The shear wall will always activate. It cannot be destroyed. So it works as that sensor for your flanks. It actually keeps Poppy safe from the pinch. It's a good read from GE of the potential pushes out from TALON.
They'll continue to play that same position. Meanwhile, the rest of the team tries to push on up. Darren this time with a full operator.
Now with this, if they can try to push and pull around A, and then if they want to go for a rotate, they could even still go for a B and C pinch as well if they take control of B main. But right now, Poppy already gives up that position. Looks like it's going to be an A hit.
ไว้สวย
Uh-oh, Darian and Kelly's kind of stuck there. That's a good paint shells right in the corner. Darian, he needs to open things up, but they're just not giving him an opportunity. Nightfall at the ready if they hear the entry start to happen.
Still Garden was ripped through as well. Unfortunately, it just keeps players from Talon on the A side closer to it anyway. A bit of a trip for info. Does spot out Jit Boys. So the annihilation.
Oh, it tags him as well all the way through the Shrouded Set, but it's behind the wall, so they are able to save him. Counter annihilation just to push them back. It's a good hit. Ban gets 1 kill. Darian for the trade, but it's an absolute mess as we see Crystal being drawn all the way to his death. Poppy left alone. 1v2.
เอาดีๆปั๊ปปี้
Kenny Shine, the clutch master. He hasn't had many opportunities today.
30 seconds left.
But this may be the most important one. Spike in range, but only 20 seconds. And look at Jit Boys' position. Already trying to throw him off.
So much to consider, but if there's any time to make it happen, 1-on-2 is the time. 15 seconds and he's going for the quick sprint into the C site. From the shadows from Jit Boys though in towards Mound.
Gotta go for that safe plant. But Jit Boys should give the information of exactly where this is. Cruz is ready for the spray. Poppy gets it! Jit Boys down to 36 HP. Poppy finally ahead in this clutch. 1v1. Going round and round. Jit Boys tries to smoke it off. Keep him guessing. Keep him locked in around the spike. Jit Boys, he makes the wrong assumption that it's CT and
ไม่น่าเลย
Poppy, the clutch master once
เนี่ย
again.
คัดเฉย
7 rounds now. Only
Second
4
round
apart.
shit.
A complete momentum shift.
มันก็ได้แหละ
Down
มัน
to
ได้
the
มันได้
1-on-2,
มันได้
and
ทาง
he's
ขวา
still able to make
ไอ้
it
เหี้ย
happen.
ปาปีมัน
Peeks out as
หัน
soon
มา
as the
สะบัด
spike was planted.
กำแพงทะลุ
That's just Poppy.
I mean, that's when you know you've made the right pickup in the offseason. Like, this guy has been bringing them so many impact rounds. Week 1, now week 2. This one round may have been everything. GE now ready for their own trap play here. It's going to be Yuta holding close, but there's the far range from Poppy once again. His shots have been good. I love that they trust in that. He's on fire right now here on this Lotus.
เป็นไงมึงจะปานั่งแล้วก็โดดเหรอกดโดดเหรอ
Now trying to see if there's any sort of push out. Is there a prowler, maybe even a showstopper all in from Talon to try to get to match point? But okay, nobody bites the bait. Talon says, no, we just gotta wait. Right, we're not taking any of those extra chances.
A gift.
So close to it. Down when things are this tense.
Bring them down.
And it close and safe, and now the Prowler being used to retrieve information.
Now only one gun fired, but it's still gonna be enough for Cruz to just say, I gotta bail out if we want any chance. It's gotta be with the team. He's just gonna hold on the smoke so they don't try to get extra reach off of this execute. Goes for a little bit of spam. The Poppy, he's already got the flank under control.
Being able to watch
มี
that
สิทธิ์
at
โม
the
เมนตัม
very
เปลี่ยน
least.
เลย
Now with
Not
things being
really.
planted out closer towards main, they're able to hang back. Where Talon will be forced to make a move to break through,
Just
given the guns.
and just lining up together, waiting for the spike to go off. Ban will be trying to position himself for a bit of an exit frag, maybe a cheeky little kill. Does have that Bucky in hand. Eventually we'll have to go through that baby door to go down to the spike.
That's kind of what they have to do. So just being able to hang back for now.
Now, Darian just choosing to go down to the spike. He just wants 1 or 2 extra kills to try to get that turret of force, but nobody will peek him in time. Just the Outlaw loss. Still lots of credits on the side of Global Esports. I like that. Min-maxing as much as you can, because that is exactly what you need in this situation. Looking at the ultimates, Cosmic Divide online for Poppy. That's another execute that you can do, work around that ultimate. But slowly, Talon starting to bank up their ult points as well.
Being closer to it as well. I mean, possibly being able to push it over the edge to match point now.
Showstopper still online. That's got to be the big one for Talon if they want to try to secure match point. Combo used on A. Rubble erased in favor of Talon.
And G kind of swaps on over onto the other side's scan, but not quite finding anything much. Just Darren marking the angle in with the off while the rest of the team tries to kind of poke and prod through to the C-side.
The Prowler also nice wide swing as well. Governor baits him in, knows it's going to be the re-challenge. That's a big kill. So much of the map now given over to Talon. They have so much control. You still have Jip Boys holding on to Rubble. B main completely under their control until the re-clear comes in from Poppy. It's all up to Poppy once again, but for now the main force looking at C-site.
A little bit unfortunate, right? No rendezvous, so now backed into it through the smokes, and Primmie's able to take the first shot.
Poppy's got to win this fight. He needs to open an extra option, but he can't. And look at Cruz. He knows he just doesn't have to give up that kill, but meanwhile, Crystal tries to get one, but Kelly not able to get the trade. There's a showstopper to push them away. Lands right at Crystal's feet. And Poppy, yeah, you had one clutch, but will they even give you the opportunity? 30 seconds left. He gets one. Spikes down. He has a chance. There's a not dead yet. They just want to draw time, and Jit Boys will not miss that chance. 12 points on the board, 1 round away from ending this best of 3.
Having those numbers, putting up that not dead
เปิด
yet
มา
as
เพื่อมอง
well.
ข่าวในแมปเว้ย
So
แล้ว
tough
ก็
for
ให้เพื่อน
Poppy
ส
to
แป
make
ม
it happen.
รู้สโมกไป
Down to
ไม่
the
รู้คุ้ม
end.
ไหม
I mean, look at this little combo to hold down outside a pillar, just to give them so much more space taking down Darian.
Yeah, and I love that talent, like Cruz just not giving that fight. Yeah, things like that, where you just understand, okay, the win condition, it's just don't fight Poppy. Don't give him a chance to open up the map even more. Don't allow GE to start to regain control around the map. Darian takes a lot of hits this time, trying to weave in between.
Find you.
All right, you heard the Vandal taken out, but you gotta imagine just the way that GE's been playing. There's that operator. Governor is ready for it. What a setup from Talon. And that may be the bells ringing against GE. The final draw, the op dropped. Rubble given over once again. Trapped in B main. Here come the paint shells. Here comes the paranoia. The chariot of Talon pushes through.
As the dust settles as well, the last 2 players, I mean, running out of options, but still trying to keep themselves in the game. Knowing that there is that potential op that's kind of rotating over across the map. A bit of that deadlock utility on the C side as well.
I mean, yeah, what do you do to break this? Yes, you have the Cosmic Divide. It looks like they might want to use that, but there's no reason for Talon to budge. There it is. Primmie gets ahead of it as well. There's the refresh on the smoke. Okay, not fast enough. Kellius gets it. The flash is ready. He antis it, but he turns just too fast.
ทำมิ่งโคตรเฮี้ยเลยหันแบบอุตส่าห์จะหลบแล้วอะยังโดนอยู่
Spike down at the very least alongside the the Governor gets ahead of it, pushes alongside the wall and gets the quick flick shot into Poppy. All down to Kellius. Comes in with a shorty, but point blank range still makes it happen. Talon closes out the map.
There were a lot of questions from a lot of fans in maps 1 and 2. Why is Primmie not on Duelist? Why? Governor looked so good on that Silva. What was going on there? But now in this map, they proved we know what we're doing. Governor closes things out. Primmie leads the board. And Talon Esports will continue on forward in the upper bracket.
Just such an incredible evolution of Talon.